Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. As you can see, I'm really feeling my crochet faux locks hairstyle, and so I'm going to show you in this video how I installed it. All right, so we are starting off with freshly washed hair that's also been moisturized with some shea butter. And for the front section of my hair, I wanted to do an illusion braid method. If you've heard of the illusion braid method, it's very common nowadays. People use it so that your crochet installations would look like they were individuals. It's very common, especially with locks. So I'm just doing that here on the front, and then for the back section, I'll just do regular cornrows. Okay. So for the illusion braiding method, it's just really plaits that you kind of connect them to each other. And so at the end of the day, when you install your lock or whatever on each of the plaits, it kind of gives it the illusion that you installed your crochet extensions individually, right? So the way I do it is, when I part it, then I start braiding it down, just like as if you're doing a braid. And you braid it down, For me, when I reach like the middle, I start to twist because I don't like taking down braids on small sections of hair. It's just very difficult. So I kind of just twist all the way down. And then I'm going to take the next section of hair and then plait it down a little bit and then connect the previous braid to it. So I'm going to show you how I do that. The next section of hair, here it goes. And then I kind of start braiding it down maybe once or twice. And then you take the previous braid and then you connect it to that braid. And that's how you're going to do it for the next 2 or 3. I had about 10 rows of this illusion braids, and each row had about 4 of these plaits. And so this is how we do illusion braids. Very simple and straightforward. The only thing that I would mention is when you're doing this cornrows for your crochet, just try not to make them too tight, especially the front, because if it's too tight, then when you try to install the actual extensions, then that might pull on your hair and cause a lot of breakage, especially if you're going to keep it in for long. So you have to remember to plait not too tight. I mean, it doesn't have to be loose, but it shouldn't be too tight either, especially the very first braid that you do. So like I said, I'm doing like 4 of these braids that follow each other like this, and I'm going to do altogether about 9-10 rows of this, and I think each row is going to have about these 4 plaits, and that's where and then for the back section, I'm just going to do normal cornrows. Okay, so there's this crazy thing I do when I'm doing my crochet. When I do like the first cornrow, I always have to try and actually test out the extensions to make sure that my cornrows are big enough for the extensions to pass through, because it's happened to me before where I did my cornrows and they were too tiny, and then when I tried to crochet in the extensions, it was just so painful. So I have this thing where when I do the first cornrow, I'll try it out first, just make sure that I have the right size before I proceed. I don't know if anybody else does this anyway, but I like to do it just to make sure that I don't get to the end and then I find myself with a problem on my hands, do the same thing on the other side. And once that's done, we're just gonna connect those plaits to the back section using cornrows. So I mean, I have in total 10 rows, but I'm not gonna do 10 cornrows in the back. I'm going to do probably 5. So I'm gonna take about 2 for 2 of the plaits in the front. I'm gonna connect them to 1 cornrow in the back. And the way you connect them is where you want to have your part. You probably want to connect the 2 cornrows at that end so that you know your line is not going all the way back. I kind of miscalculated a little bit, and I only joined for the part where I wanted where I wanted my part to be. I didn't connect the 2 cornrows there, so I struggled a bit with that at the end. I had to improvise a little, but the way you do it is, if you want your part to be here, for example, in between these 2 cornrows, then you're gonna join them to, you know, connect them together and do the cornrow all the way down. That way, when you're installing your extensions, then you have your part right there, and you don't have a line that's going all the way to the end. Okay. All right. So that's how I did it. And also, when I'm doing my cornrows at the back, I don't just like take them all the way to the end for each one. I connect the cornrows. So I plait it all the way down, and then I connect it to the next cornrow, and I connect it to the next cornrow, so that at the end I'm only left with one end of cornrow that I can just like sew a crochet into the rest of the hair. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So you see how I only have one end down there for all the cornrows that I've already done so far. So when I braid this cornrow all the way down, when I'm getting towards the end, I will take that the end of that braid, the previous braid, and then join it to the cornrow that I'm currently doing, and then braid it down. And when I do it this way at the end, I'm just gonna have one braid, at the very end, and then it's easy to just kind of crochet crochet in that end into the cornrow before you begin installing your extensions. So I find this method to be very easy. I think I saw it on a YouTuber called Beauty Can Braid. She's really good with this cornrow pattern, and she makes it so neat. So I've been trying to do it the same way, and I find that it makes it very easy for me, and I don't have to like sew in my cornrows. All right, so this is what the cornrows look like, and now we're going to install our extensions. The goal was to have each one faux lock on each of the plaits, but when I finished, I found that it was a little bit scanty, so I just kind of doubled them up. But anyway, that was the goal, and you can totally do that if you want, if you're not the kind of person who wants it to be so full in the front. And like I said, I'm going to put the link of this faux lock in the description box, but there was only one negative comment I have about this, is that the loops are not well defined. They're a little bit rough, so I was having a bit of a problem. They were snagging on the crochet pin sometimes when I was trying to pull, and it was not very seamless trying to pull it through. I did see that coming when I was buying the hair, but I mean, I liked it so much I wanted to try it. So that's the only thing I would say I didn't like about the extensions. Otherwise, they're quite good, and it's okay for this hairstyle. Yeah, so it was a pretty quick style, and I doubled up, like I said, I doubled up the faux locks in the front just to give it a fuller look, because I do like when my hair looks full, and especially in the front. And this was the final look. Really love the color. And the hair is lightweight, it's just easy to style in any direction, so it's really good. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.